So I do this by splitting it up into 3 different parts. So the first part is just the 3 first nerve roots of the plexus, going from T12 to L2. So to start, draw just one line going straight out from the T12 vertebra. Then when you go to L1, you're gonna draw 3 lines. One kind of going up, one going straight out, and one going down as it goes out. And for the L2, I'm just gonna draw a line straight up to connect with that inferior line of the L1. You can extend it out a little bit if you want. Okay, so like the reason why I prefer this strategy over anything that they've taught us is because you are able to kind of really see the specific nerve roots for each of like the branches of the lumbosacral plexus. Like for what they've given us so far, it just looks kind of like a mazy mess. And outside of like the nerve roots and the distinction between the lumbar plexus and the sacral plexus, there's no real portions that you have to memorize specific nerves coming off of. So I just feel like this is just a way better way to organize it and memorize it. So for this portion right here, I just kind of remember it that you're going it in like reverse alphabetical order. So for the T12, start with the subcostal, and then the next one with the L1, it goes ilioinguinal, and then iliohypogastric, and then the very last portion of the like reverse alphabetical order right here, the genitofemoral. And each one perfectly lines up with this specific nerve root that innervates it. So that's the end of the first part right there. We'll go on starting at L2 and going down to the 2 below it from there. So it's just L2, L3, and L4. And for this one, because I have an iPad, and if you do as well, you can kind of follow along with this, we'll use colors to our advantage. So we'll put one red dot in line with L2. We'll put one yellow dot in line with L3, and one blue dot in line with L4. All right, so for the red dot, get a red pen, connect it to L2 and L3. With the yellow pen, connect that yellow dot to L2, L3, and L4. And with the blue dot, put the blue pen, connect the blue dot to L3 and L4. All right, so we can still color code it from here. And then I just color coded it like this, so you'd be better able to visualize like the nerve roots for each specific branch. So for the red line right here that goes from L2 to L3, that'll be the lateral femoral cutaneous nerve, or just how I have it put there, lat fem cut, just to make it a little more concise. And so for the yellow, because there are multiple nerves that go from L2 to L4, we can write them all out with yellow. So the first one I'll write, it is femoral. And then the anterior cutaneous branch of the femoral nerve, we can also write there, but because it's a branch of the femoral nerve, I'll just draw an arrow, right? Anterior cutaneous femoral. And then we'll change, actually no, we won't change yet, because another one that's L2 to L4, it's also the obturator nerve. Okay. So So there's 3 specific nerves that come from L2 to L4. And then finally, we'll go to the blue here for L3 to L4. And that will be the saphenous nerve, which is what the femoral turns into eventually and is purely sensory. Okay, so now we'll scroll down to where we get the entire rest of that lumbosacral plexus in there. And then we'll kind of color code this one too. So with a red pen, draw a line from L4 to S1. And then with a blue pen, draw a nerve from L5 to S2. All right. And kind of in the same way we did with the yellow color up above a little, with the red, we can group the 2 nerves, superior gluteal nerve, as well as the nerve to quadratus femoris, or how I just write it, N2QF. Cool, and those are both L4 to S1. Then we can change back to the blue for the L5 to S2. We can write inferior gluteal nerve, as well as the nerve to obturator internus, or N2OI as I have it written. All right, so after that, what I like to do is get a purple, because red plus blue equals purple, and I draw a line from L4 down to S3, and I'll make that my sciatic nerve. And from there, I'll go back up to S2 and draw a little arrow out to the side and write all fibular, because sciatic goes from L4 to S3, and every nerve with the word fibular in it, whether it be common fibular, superficial fibular, or deep fibular, are all L4 to S2, so that's why I have that kind of little step off right there. All right, and then I will draw on the other side, so I'll flip it over here just to make it a little more organized and less chaotic. Another purple from L4 to S3 to be the tibial nerve. And I have this one as purple as well, just because it's indicating that it's a branch of the sciatic nerve. And I also have it over here, so I can kind of write in some of the branches of the tibial nerve, because they all kind of split some different nerve roots. So I'll draw brackets from L4 to L5, and I'll write medial plantar, and then I'll go S1 to S2 for the sural nerve, and then I'll go S2 to S3 and write lateral plantar. Okay, and those are all the branches of the tibial nerve except for the calcaneus, which we don't really have to know the nerve roots for that one, and then just the tibial nerve in general. Okay, and then finishing it up here on this left side, once again, we'll color code it. So with the red, draw a line from S1 to S3. And then with the yellow, draw a line from S1 to S2. Then with the blue, draw it from S2 to S4. And for the red, we can write that one as the posterior cutaneous nerve of the thigh. I'll just write post cut because not a ton of room there. And for the yellow, I'll make that the perforating cutaneous nerve. And with the blue, this guy right here is the pudendal nerve. All right, and then you can zoom out on this a little bit. And that's the entire lumbosacral plexus, along with all the branches of each of the nerves.